Hey folks, welcome to Oregon Hot Rod. In this video you're going to see us put together the cases for the PW80 here for my granddaughter. Please stay tuned, be sure and subscribe, hit the like button, all that stuff, and let's get this show on the road. Okay, so I learned a big lesson here. On this engine here, the bearings, I had put the bearings on the crankshaft first, and they don't go on the crankshaft first, they actually go in the cases first, and then you press the cases around the crankshaft and onto the bearings. So I had to remove them. It was not an easy task, but what I did is I just took a couple of chisels, not chiseled them off, but just kind of got in between them and the crankshaft, and then just slowly moved them out and removed them that way. It worked pretty good, so in case you make the same mistake I did, then you can get that fixed. But they need to be pressed into the cases first, so that's what I'm doing. I got the one pressed in here. It's all done. I'm getting ready. I'm going to go down and I'm going to press the other one in here. We'll take you down. I'll just show you what I'm doing to press them in. This is where those tools that I made earlier are coming in real handy right now, because they make it easy to press these bearings in. Anyway, let's go down below and I'll show you what's going on. Okay, so fortunately I had a second set of bearings laying around, and was able to grab them up, and just pulling out the other bearings as I didn't want to take a chance and just putting them back in. So I'm going to put a fresh set of bearings in here and start new. So here's what I'm talking about with the piece here that I made. These pipe pieces, because they're exactly perfect to fit these bearings and not damage anything. So I want to make sure we get lined up here perfectly. Check the bearing. Woo. Spins perfect. Nice. Okay, so I got the oil pump elimination kit installed, but there's a couple things here I wanted to go and show you here. We have it, okay, as you can see, here it is installed. All it is just a plate, but with it, it's got a big bump on the back side here, which replaces this piece here. Okay, so I wanted to explain something here. When I pulled the oil pump out, I removed this piece here, right? This came out, and the spring and all this other stuff, and what was left in there was this piece. And I thought, when I got the oil pump replacement kit, I go, well, that doesn't fit on here. And so I sent a message to the guy that sold it to me, and he goes, well, you didn't take out the other part. I'm like, what? And so I went in, looked at it again, and realized that this piece was still left inside the block. And so I had to go in, and I can see why a lot of guys have troubles getting these oil pumps out. This thing was in solid. I mean, it was hard. You can see the corrosion around the outside of it here. It was just locked into the block. I literally had to go in from the back side back in here I had to go in through the back side and use a punch and drive it out to get it out of the casing and stuff. So if you're doing that elimination kit and you're doing it without removing the engine or splitting the cases and stuff, that could be the problem that you're having. So you'll have to do like what I would do is I'd probably have squirted a PB blaster down in there had I known, and worked it back and forth until I finally got it loose. So anyway, I've got the other bearings in here. I've installed the crank on the one side of the casing. It's all ready to go, and I am ready to put the other side of the casing on. So what I've chosen to use, now you need to put gasket sealer on this here case, and so what I have chosen to use is this Permatex Ultra Copper. This used for all sorts of high temp situations and performance applications. It says it's excellent for exhaust gaskets and such, but that's just part of it. I chose this because it is such high temp. Now there's a couple other grades, but I felt that this one was the highest grade of the gasket sealer that I wanted to use. Here's my rag. Here we go. Okay, so you want to make sure you clean up the surface real well here. It's going to be especially critical right around the crank, because on two-stroke engines, they don't hold oil in the crankcase. They hold the fuel. That's why you mix the fuel to lubricate the crank bearings and such. So make sure you get everything cleaned up really, really well. All right, you're going to have these little pins here that you need to stick in. So those go into the indents in the block here. So on this, you've got two of them here in the block. And the other two, I believe, goes in one of these side covers. This one, yeah, this side cover here. So it holds those things straight. The other thing you want to do is make sure you lubricate your surfaces here that ride on bearings, and also there's a O-ring right on this shaft right here. You want to make sure you lubricate that too, so the engine assembles real easy. So let's get some gasket sealer on here and get this baby assembled. You have to remember there's two chambers in this engine that you have to be critical, or that are critical. One is this chamber, which is going to hold oil to the transmission and grease to the transmission. The other one is this chamber here that's going to have your combustion chamber, your intake and exhaust, and this is what's going to lubricate the bearings here and stuff. So they need to be sealed up, and they need to be sealed up good. So I think we're ready now to put this together. I'm going to take a quick look here. Keep my fingers crossed I'm not missing anything. Let's give her a whirl. Keep our fingers crossed. Yes. Okay, so I kind of got a curveball thrown at me here. This engine, I've got two different sets of seals for this crank, and they're both the same. They're a double-lipped oil seal. And I had to go look and see what the difference is between the two of them and stuff, and which direction they actually go in. And to be quite honest, there isn't a whole lot of information on them. But one thing that seemed kind of consistent was, or at least the information I got, is that lettering goes towards the outside, and when I examine the oil seal, it looks like it gets the best sealing in that direction. So I'm going to take a chance here, and I think that's which direction I'm going to go. You don't want to put on these seals dry. It's you want to make sure you have some sort of lubricant on them. That way it keeps the surfaces or the lips on them nice and brittle, or not brittle, but sharp. So let's go ahead, I think. Bad deal. I screwed up. Damn it. I pushed the seal in too far. Well, let's get it out and start all over again. Alright, thanks for watching Oregon Hot Rod here. Next video we're going to try and get I'm going to show you the rest of the assembly on the engine here, the cases being put together and all the other peripherals and stuff. And then hopefully we'll get to putting it in this little PW80 MX here. And probably have to do another video on getting it running. But anyway, if you like the videos, please subscribe. Hit the notification, hit that like button, and keep supporting Oregon Hot Rod. Thank you very much for being here. We'll see you next time.